everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you stopped by my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do our 6th set of alternatives for the May 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Mountain Majesties. And here you can see the 9 cards that you could have made if you had done them as intended. So we're going to do some alternatives today. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one we're going to do, we're going to start with a Knight of Navy card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to give that a good burnish with our bone folder. We have a piece of white. It's 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to put on the inside. And for the outside, I've got a couple of pieces here. So I've got, this was a piece that was in the kit that was supposed to be layered up with some of that vellum that we've been using on other projects. So I'm going to use that one on this. I've got one of the sets of trees that you're supposed to pop up here. So we're going to do that. And then I've got a piece of black cardstock here that is, let's see, 1.5 by 4 1/4 that I have run through the mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. So we've got some nice lines in here. So we're going to put that, I think, down here just to give this a little bit of interest and depth. I'm just going to put it right at the back of the top of the mountains there. So let's see what we want to put down first. So let's see if we can, we're going to put our black piece down first. So I'm going to go ahead and put some seal on it. And I'm just going to put this on here long enough to tell where we want to slide this. So I want this to kind of be just below the top of this mountain, over here. Well, actually, we're going to put it down to where, right here, so it doesn't show out the top past this corner. So we're just going to do just a little bit more. There we go. So just something like that. So we'll push that down. And then I'll go ahead and put the rest of this card base down. Okay, so we'll get this down here. And I did trim this piece so that it was 4 1/4 wide. So it just fits on the card base. I'm going to open this up so I can get here in the corner. There we go. So we just want it to fit just flush with the bottom and flush with both sides here. So let's see. We're going to do that. It looks like we've got a little bit of our black piece that's sticking over the side here. So I'm just going to take my scissors and trim this off. And there we go. There we go. Looks good. Okay. Now, so I'm going to take the tree piece here and we're going to pop this up on some dimensionals. So we'll just get these put down. Maybe one more. We'll let the tops of it just kind of be loose at the top. I think it'll be fine. So let's get all the backs off. I think I got them all. So we're just gonna put this right down here flush with the left hand side of the card. So just like that. Now I've got a little white tag. This actually came out of last month's Paper Pumpkin, so it was one of the greeting tags that we didn't use. So I'm going to use it on this card. And I've got this that was in this month's. It says, "Thank you for being the person you are." We're just going to put that on the inside. So we're kind of going to just use this up on our inside. So we'll just kind of center this, you know, just like that. And we'll go ahead and put this on the inside, and then we'll stamp on the outside on our sentiment piece. Oops, guess I better put it right side up, huh? So let's just go ahead and center this the best we can in here. Put that down. Okay, now, so let me stamp on this. I'm gonna put, I'm gonna use Night and Navy ink, and I'm gonna stamp on here. This was in the stamp set that came in the kit. It says, "You're the greatest." So we're gonna put that right down here on our little sentiment piece here. Whoops. Oh my goodness. All right. Of course, I got blue ink everywhere. All right. We're going to get it down here. Hopefully straight and in the middle. We shall see. Oh my goodness. Whoops. Well, that didn't work. All right. Let's try that again. Let's make sure we get the Y inked up good. Alright, it's a good thing we can flip it over and try again, huh? Okay, let's try this one more time. And make sure I put pressure just a little bit. There, and that isn't straight. Oh my goodness, that's not good. Alright, hang on, we'll dig out another one. I've got some more. Oh my goodness. What are the odds that I would mess it up both times? Okay, let's find one of those sentiment strips that we had left over from last month here. This is the mess that I'm hanging on to that we're going to make a scrapbook page out of. So, let's see. Here's another one. Let me see. Will our stamp fit on this one? I'm not sure this one's... I don't think that one's wide enough or long enough. So hey, I see one that we can use right here. I can get hold of it. There, well, no. I want one with a square edge. There we go. There's one like we had. Okay, let me get this mess out of the way. All right, let's try this again. My goodness. You know what? I think I'm going to take it off of this block, put it on the bigger block. That might be part of my problem. Just because it's not completely on the block on that other one. So let me get this lined up here. Okay, now maybe we'll have better luck. All right, let's try again. Third time's a charm, right? Okay, let's try this again. You know what? That piece is not as big as our other piece, so that's not the right piece. Okay, hang on. We're gonna just cut us a piece. How's that? I've got a scrap of white here. We're just gonna make sure that this is big enough. So I'm just gonna make this like we're gonna go 1/2 inch. Let's see, how wide do we want this? We need it, okay, about 2.5. So we're going to do 2.5. And then I'll go ahead and cut this down to 1/2 inch. Alright, now let's try this. See if this works. Okay, yeah, this is good. Okay. So we're going to stamp our greeting down. There we go. Boy, that should not have been that difficult. Okay, so we're going to take our greeting. I'm going to pop it up on some baby dimensionals here, mini dimensionals. And we'll get this on the front of our card. Okay. So get the backs off. All right, one more. All right, I'm going to put this just kind of right down here at the bottom. I'm going to put it, you know what, I'm going to take this in dimensional off because this is already popped up, and if I leave that on there, it's going to look funny. So now it's all the same height. Okay, so that's good. Now we've got some gems here. These are the Charming Shimmer Faceted Dots, and we're going to use these tonight. I'm going to use this blue because it is Misty Moonlight in color. So let's get a couple of these. Let's see, where should we put it? Right there. And there, and we'll do one more little one down here. Okay, so there's our first card. Ink disasters and all. All right, so let's look at our second one. So our second one here, we're going to start with a card base 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. This is Misty Moonlight. And we're going to give it a nice burnish here. Make sure it lays flat. I've got a piece for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. And now I've got, this was half of one of the card bases. And I have run this through that same embossing folder. So the mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. So we've got some nice ridges in here. So we're going to put that here on the front, but before we do, I'm going to take some linen thread. So it comes in a spool like this, and I've cut us off a nice long piece here. We won't need to near all of this, but I wanted to make sure we had more than we needed. And I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to cross this over. So, oops. Oh my goodness, this side. Okay, so we're going to make an X here at the front. Okay, and then I want to do it again. And we'll take this one this way. Okay, so we've got, see if we can pull this a little tighter. Okay. Alright, we'll get this down here, wrapped around to the back, and then this one. Okay, so we can have something kind of like that. Now I'm just going to see if I can flip it over here. And we're going to use mini glue dot. See if I can get one of these off of here. And roll that up. Just want to get it down. Oops. Get it down there. Off my tape there. Well, come on, stick. There we go. It's to stay on the tool. And then I'm going to just put these into that dot so that they will stay. So there's two. I'm going to use a second dot. So I'm going to put this over here. Now let's see if we can make sure it still looks good on the front. Doesn't look bad, so we'll get this put in there so it stays. See if we can just bring this down just a little bit. There we go. There's what I wanted. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we've got all this excess here at the back. So I'm just going to take and trim this off. And we'll trim this one. Okay, now we're going to put this onto our card base. So I'm going to use seal for this. And I'm going to try to just easily go over our pieces of linen thread here to try to, again, help those stay down. Okay, now let's get this on here. Center that. Okay, so that looks good. Now, let's see. We've got another one of these. Thank you for being the person you are. I'm going to put that on the front this time. So we're going to pop that with some dimensionals. And then we'll stamp on the inside. Okay, so we're just going to put this right there. And then we're going to use our Misty Moonlight ink this time. And we're going to do a good friend is a gift. And this comes from the new Perfectly Pairs stamp set that just came out at the beginning of July. It's so cute. So we're going to use this on our inside. Let's see if we can have better luck than we did on our other one. Or at least maybe I can make less of a mess. There we go. Okay, put this ink pad away. Get this on the inside. Of our card. Center this up. Okay, and the last thing we need to do is add some embellishments to it. So I'm going to use these antique pearls. So we're going to do one here. Oops. And we'll do another one here. And one, I guess, up here. There we go. So there's that one, and here's both of the cards that we did today. And these were pretty easy, other than my ink disasters. Not too hard to put together, pretty quick. So this is our, like I said in the beginning, our 6th set of alternatives. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And there'll be another set of alternatives coming very soon. And if you are interested in, becoming a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, there'll be some information below in the description. And I would love to have you on my team. So just, if you have any questions or need any help, just let me know. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a crafty day. Bye.